Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're doing the look that Selena Gomez wore to the Grammys. So if you want to see how to get this look, then keep on watching. And don't forget, if you enjoy, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos coming soon. Okay, to start things off, I'm just literally clipping up my fringe because if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I always forget this step and then the entire video, it just bugs me and gets in my way. So just to get that out of my face and start things off. Next up, I'm taking the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation, and this one's got a really lovely glowy finish. I'm using it slightly shade darker than I normally would just to kind of bronze up my skin a little bit, and I'm actually working that in with a Real Techniques sculpting brush. It's not really what the brush was intended for, but I just find it works the product in really nicely and buffs it in for a really nice finish. So just taking that all over the face. Next up, I'm taking my Bobbi Brown BBU palette, and to start with I'm using the correct shade, and this is to erase any sort of darkness under the eye. And to apply that, I'm using the Real Techniques concealer brush, which has got a really great shape actually to it and really helps get it right into the corners and any kind of creases and areas that you want to apply it. So taking that corrector shade just around in the sort of dark areas under the eye, right in the corner, the outer corner as well. And you can see that instantly erases sort of the main darkness under the eye. And then to work that in, I'm just actually going to take a ring finger. I find the warmth of your finger really works well to blend in the product, and just pat and press and work that in right up into the under lower lash line as well, and in the inner corner. To follow the concealer with the corrector, I'm actually just taking the normal concealer shade, taking that over any marks and blemishes, and then also over the top of the corrector shade, which will then give the sort of full coverage around the eye and counteracts the sort of corrector colour, so you actually have the sort of true skin shade rather than the peachy corrector tone. Just using that same Real Techniques concealer brush and taking a little bit down my nose in the centre of my face just to act as a bit of a highlight in the middle of my chin. Going back with my Real Techniques brush, just so that has a little bit of the residue of the foundation, and using a sort of patting, pressing motion, just gently working that product and blending it all in. Next up, I'm taking a Dior palette, and this is one of their sort of holiday palettes, and a Real Techniques brow brush, and just taking the sort of brow cream that comes in that palette and working it through my brows, taking sort of gentle strokes, really just to kind of give a nice groomed effect to the brows and fill in any gaps and give a nice shape. Using my finger there just to kind of touch up around the edge if you've got a little product on the skin that I don't want, and gently working that in. Next up, taking a Real Techniques little detailer brush, and back to my Bobbi Brown palette, I'm just using the concealer shade after I've done the brows just to kind of go around the edges, which really gives a really nice neat finish. And that helps create a really nice even shape as well. Obviously brows are never exactly the same on each side. The key with this really is to make sure once you've sort of got that nice outline is to really kind of blend outwards. So just sort of, I'm using my brow brush there because I've gone over a little bit that I didn't want, but then take that brush and blend upwards from the top and then downwards underneath. So you don't want to see that line, you just want that kind of crisp brow, which really makes the eyes stand out. Next up, taking the Sleek palette in Au Naturel, and I'm taking the neutral shade and a base shadow brush from Real Techniques, and just using this as a wash all across the eye, right up into the brow bone. This acts as a really nice base for all the other shadows, helps everything to blend, and gives a nice highlight on the brow bone. And taking it right into the inner corner as well, and right in the lash line. Taking the next shade, this sort of chocolatey brown, which has a bit of a shimmer, on that same brush, and just working that across the lid and then up into the crease as well. For this look, it was quite a winged out look, sort of not really with an eyeliner, but using the shadow to really kind of go up and high onto the sort of crease and brow bone, and then really sort of outwards in a sort of V on the outer corner, and take it under the eye as well onto the lower lash line. Now taking a smaller little blending brush and the darker shade from the palette, we're just deepening up the sort of outer V of the eye here, taking it in that sort of outside corner and down to the sort of lower lash line, really to create that shape and deepen everything up on the outer corner. And then going in with the sort of darker shade still and a detailer brush, I'm going to take that dark sort of colour right into the lash line, and again out in this sort of V shape that we're creating for this look, which is almost like a wing sort of outwards on that sort of triangular shape. And then just blending that up as well so it goes up onto the sort of brow bone and under the eye as well, so it all blends into the lower lash line colour. It's quite dark on the outer corner and quite a strong shape. And then to follow that and neaten everything up, go back in with your concealer brush that you've used, and then sort of work just the fine edges sort of right at the top of the brow bone, just to neaten up that sort of line there. And then take it as well under the eye and sort of follow your natural shape from sort of under the eye right up into sort of the tip of where your brows would be. It's a really great way to create that sort of sharp shape that you want, without worrying about sellotape or anything like that. And this actually is a really great brush. Actually, the shape with the sort of point really allows you to get sort of a nice crisp edge. And just repeat that on the other eye and sort of looking as the other one for a reference. So just follow that line up and you'll see it creates that sort of really nice graphic sort of winged out shape that we're looking for this look. And to further neaten up and soften that edge, I'm just taking a blending brush from Real Techniques and then just softening that edge so it's not such a harsh line. It's sort of still graphic, but it's all been softened so it blends nicely up onto the brow and in that crease area. So just a really light hand with this brush, just to gently kind of soften those edges and blur everything out a little bit. And then I'm going back here to my contour brush just to finally again smooth under the eye and those edges where it's sort of taken up by the brow. Next up, going back to my Dior palette and taking a small blending brush and that really bright colour and popping that on the inner corner of the eye to create that nice sort of pop, brighten everything up and give it a little sort of sparkle on the inner corner. Taking now the Bobbi Brown Longwear eye pencil and pop that in your waterline. And also take that on the upper lash line, not too thick, just really kind of working into the roots just to create some depth and colour at the roots, because we'll be applying lashes later. Next up, curl your lashes, and I'm applying here the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast High Definition Collagen Coat Mascara. So really work that into your lashes, kind of get a good coating on those so they look nice and black. And also work it into your lower lashes as well. This is a nice evening look. Next up, pop on some false lashes. I'm using some Ardell lashes. I will put a note in the comments as to which lashes I've used, but really any kind of evening style lashes. And I'm going back in with my Bobbi Brown pencil and just working that over the band. These ones got a fairly thick band and the glue for some reason didn't dry particularly clear, so just really, I always like to blend in the band and make it look as natural as possible. So just going over, covering up any sort of glue that hasn't dried clear and blending it all in so it looks natural on the eye. Depending on the lashes you've used, you may want to skip this step if you feel they've got quite a thin band and they don't need blending. It's just a personal preference of mine when wearing false lashes. Next up, I'm going in with the Real Techniques Duo Fibre Brush, and that's the Bourjois de Lys de Soleil bronzer. And I'm just going to work that sort of across the forehead on the temples and sort of up into the hairline and then down on the sort of hollows of the cheeks, just to create some nice kind of cheekbone shape going on there and give a little bit of warmth to the face as well. Next up, with that same brush, take the sleek Face Form palette and take the blush shade and just pop that gently on the apples of the cheeks for a little bit more colour. And then onto highlighting, taking the collection Speedy Highlighter, and this is in Pearl Sheen, and then popping that right on the tops of the cheekbones, and then a little bit down the nose as well, and on the Cupid's bow. You can see that instantly gives such a lovely highlight, and I find the best way with this product is to work it in with the warmth of your fingers rather than a brush, so just blend that in using your fingers nicely. Moving on to lips, we're taking one of the Bourjois Rouge shades. I'll put a note which colour that is down below. It's just a really neutral shade, really nothing too colourful, and work that onto the lips. And this one is optional. Unclip your fringe and shake your head like a dog. Or not at all, and just kind of sort your hair out however you would like. That was just my technique. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, and you won't miss any more videos coming soon. Thanks, bye.